Welcome back to a special edition of Good News Central Virginia. I'm Charles Thomas, and I'm here with Claudette Jordan, Nadine Lucas, and Rosetta Lewis. And they are members of the Ralph Bunche Alumni Association. And when we left, we were talking with Nadine about a special plaque that was set up by the National Registry of Historical Places. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, in 2006, we were successful in being recognized as a national and state historical landmark, which basically said, you know, our history is something to be told and something that needs to be remembered and preserved. Following that, in 2012, we also were able to get our historical highway marker. Since that time, the Ralph Bunche alumni has been feverishly talking to the Board of Supervisors in King George County, because they are now the owners of the school, about its preservation. We don't like seeing our school just going down into ruins, and especially since it's basically the #1 African-American site that is truly African-American in King George County. We realize that our history is secure, but we just wonder where it is in King George County. You know, we want King George County people to understand what happened. We first started out with the Ralph Bunche Alumni Association approached the Board of Supervisors and requested that they set up a committee. This was to be the Ralph Bunche Advisory Committee to do a research, to report out, and to bring back to them suggestions for the use of the school. This all happened in the committee. First committee was formed in 2008, reported out to the Board of Supervisors in 2009, and part of what they were saying too is at the dedication of the Ralph Bunche School in 1949, a telegram had been authored by Dr. Ralph Bunche, which read, a portion of it stated, "I would be very happy indeed if this new school were for youth of all races and colors." So what we were saying to them, in an effort to preserve the name of Ralph Bunche, the heritage of the Ralph Bunche School, and also the legacy of Dr. Bunche, that the advisory committee wanted to restore areas of the school to its former condition to honor the contribution of Ralph Bunche, the Ralph Bunche School made to the education of African Americans in the county from 1949 through 1968, to renovate areas of the school to accommodate future community interests, including education, recreation, and socialization, and also just to maintain the entire Ralph Bunche site to a standard worthy of what many people who fought to see equality become a reality. This was in 2009 that they reported out. Now we have moved ahead to 2012. Yes, they did some things to the school to stabilize it, but we are still dealing with the ruins of the inside of the school.
Right.
So again, the Ralph Bunche Alumni Association goes to the Board of Supervisors, and we request that they reinstate the Ralph Bunche Advisory Committee, which is what I am now a part of, as well as part of the Ralph Bunche Alumni. I am chair for that committee, and we have been working diligently since 2012. We meet once a month. We have representatives from various areas of the county. And we made our first report out to the Board of Supervisors in 2013, basically coming back with some of the same uses that the original committee had. But we have moved a little further. We are now at a point where our history is going to be told in a different format, which Claudette will share with you. But in addition to that, we're working on a business plan so that we can show how this effort can be achieved, obviously with their help as well.
Sure. Well, Claudette, you were given the stage, so to speak.
Yeah. Well,
so tell us where we are today, and how we can also invite other people to come in and be a part of this effort.
all right. I don't want to be redundant, but I think it's important to say that our overall mission is the preservation of Ralph Bunche High School, and also to showcase the role that Ralph Bunche played in in challenging the separate but equal justification in public school systems and how it ultimately led to desegregation in schools in Virginia. So we want to keep that out there. The advisory committees have changed members, but the mission hasn't changed. And so, as Nadine indicated, the King George Board of Supervisors are deed holders. So as deed holders, everything we do has to pass through that venue to make sure that we're in compliance with what's being looked at and what they want. So again, the committee, the advisory committee, is composed of people from the Ralph Bunche Advisory Committee, Ralph Bunche Alumni Association, from the Board of Supervisors, from the Chamber of Commerce, from School Board, and also Parks and Recs. So these are kind of like standing people, and we do meet once a month. And the charge was for us to, as she said before, make recommendations to the board on matters relating to the renovation of the school, to investigate and identify funding sources. Nothing happens without funding. And to determine how the school would be used and develop an implementation schedule. So they've charged us with quite a few things to do, and we're diligently trying to accomplish that. Well, the overall purpose of the school, when you think about from a historical perspective, we want to share information and resources and house these artifacts that are related to the separate but equal doctrine on segregated education in the Virginia public school system, and also to provide a venue for community events and trainings, meetings as well. So picture this. Ideally, if we had the school, you would go throughout the building, there'd be plaques and pictures that would display how the original school used to look. All these things were destroyed over the years. The trophies, the pictures of Student of the Month, Mr. Ralph Bunche, all that stuff. Everything that was there is all gone. But there are people in the community who held on to a lot of this memorabilia, and I'll kind of get to that in a minute. The other piece would be the gymnasium that had the beautiful hardwood floors, to restore that back to its original state. And that could serve as a place for readings, for guest lectures, cultural events, concerts, whatever the case. The principal's office, that office space would probably be used for administrative purposes and also to serve as office space for maybe the Ralph Bunche Alumni Association or the Chamber of Commerce, groups of that nature. The classrooms could be used for the trainings and the meetings. And the library, I could see that being converted to a space where you're doing exhibitions and museum type things that tell the story of the ending of separate but equal and the beginning of desegregation in Virginia public schools. So here's where we are now. The advisory committee is working on a detailed business plan. We're researching potential funding sources and requirements such as grants, sponsorships, capital campaign entities. We're researching opportunities for partnerships and marketing strategies, and developing a support network of historians, curators, and filmmakers to help tell the story. So hence, here we are, and giving thanks to you for giving us this public opportunity to air part of our story. Another method, University of Mary Washington students enrolled in Dr. Christina Turdine's Museum Design and Interpretation class will present an exhibition at the Dahlgren campus on April 21st at 2:45 p.m. Now, this exhibition, it's a beautiful thing, provides the historical context of African American education in King George County from the early 1 to 2 room schools to the legal fight for equal facilities, which led to the construction of the Ralph Bunche School in 1949, and eventually to total integration in 1968, all right? These students, I'm commending them. They embraced this project to help us tell our story. They went into the community and they have met with some of the legends and pioneers of those 1 and 2 room schools. They interviewed them, they documented the history, they've collected memorabilia, artifacts, they've done research in journals complete to the Library of Congress to help us tell the story. So this exhibition will certainly encapsulate the important role that Ralph Bunche High School played in the road to desegregation in King George County schools, and why this historic treasure needs to be preserved. Now, everything that we've said here today, it all leads back to the efforts of trying to gain the Board of Supervisors' approval of the mission and the preservation of our high school.
Awesome. And you guys, I'm going to commend you. Great job here today. You've gotten a lot of good information. Before we close, tell our audience here how they can get involved in this effort to preserve this school. We have a website, phone number, information.
Well, the website that we're working on is under construction. Us old-timers aren't as proficient with the web and so forth, but we're getting there.
If you're a web developer, we're going to get you guys in contact with these folks here so that we can get a Class 1 website put together for you.
We appreciate that.
Yes. We want folks to come out to see this exhibition. The showing will be again at the Dahlgren campus of Mary Washington University on April 21st at 2:45 p.m. The doors open at 2:15. Subsequent to the showing, this exhibition is going to be housed at the Dahlgren Historic Museum. Hopefully, when the school is preserved, it will get a permanent home, because that's what we're after.
And that's where it should be.
Yes.
In the school.
Yes.
Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in today on this very special episode of Good News Central Virginia. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon next time. Ladies, again, thank you for joining us today. It's a great day.